Yo, big, yo, ahead of my time. Y'all niggas shoulda left for my nine. Bust a shot, hit the cop, and that's a federal crime. But before I go to jail and do the federal time, eat my wife's pussy, incredible edible dime. Patron said, Ruckus, you can do it again. Let the scat blow, fucking, now I'm losing the frame. Sean Price is the best around. Niggas Ray Charles with it, doing the damn mess around. I will back out the iron and press this clown. I will smack fire for lion and wet this clown. No joke, rock him all law. Fucking drive by me and I'ma pop at your car. Listen, push that crack, push that rap, good. When I push that lack, you look at that hood. Wanna know who the fuck I'm signed to? What difference do it make, bitch? Listen to the tape tick.
Bitch, I give a fuck what you're thinking. Fuck your thoughts. I'm God, and bitch you now.
Yeah,
and bitch you now.
Listen, I'll be that insane nigga from the psycho ward. Insane nigga from the psycho ward. Be that insane nigga from the psycho ward. Insane nigga, insane nigga. Be that insane nigga from the psycho ward. Insane nigga from the psycho ward. Be that insane nigga from the psycho ward. Insane nigga, insane. I'll be that insane nigga from the psycho ward. Insane nigga from the psycho ward. Be that insane nigga from the psycho ward. Insane nigga, insane nigga. Be that insane nigga from the psycho ward. Insane nigga from the psycho ward. Be that insane nigga from the psycho ward. Insane nigga, insane nigga.
You want more. The sound is hype, and we're sure that you feel real good when you're part of a kid and play adventure.
I think it's time to make the floor burn. What I'm saying is, it's your turn to do things you've always wanted to. Here's the jam
from Kid and Play to you. Listen up to what I'm saying here, work it out. Oh, you ain't staying here.
Troopers and troopettes should notice. Listen close, don't blow this chance.
To get next to the opposite sex, it means
if you ain't down, use the exit.
Just like Brutus, we always knew this. On the strip, y'all, we can do this my way. This symphony was composed by me. Now your reps in jeopardy. Like the kiss of death to my foes, MCs are falling like dominoes. Oppose me, you must be a little crazy. Gonna unleash the sound and the fury. Hook up the mic real quick. It's a habit I just can't keep. When I'm through getting loud, the crowd'll be in ecstasy. They'll rush the stage to get next to me. Let me pick the girl. Sex to me, it's time to collect my feet. Plays by my side, ripping, running, sticking, gunning. The boy's still stunning. Heard, don't obstruct this. Where's the trumpets? Give me the beat and I'll pump this my way.
Now I'm here to rhyme. It's time to slay. You've heard the kid, now it's time for play. Rocking the beat that heard programs. It makes no diff cause I'm so damn deaf. And I get this not ever. There's no fuss, it's just me devastating, debating. None of that in my domain. I'm the captain. Think you're hot? Light the match, then pray as the DJ starts scratching. Kid and Play with the rep, notorious. Take a step. Why don't you just get on the floor? The rhyme ambassadors so hype you wanna crash your door in. Cause Play is at it again. Behave. I'm about to begin and do it my way.
It's Kid and Play. The team, yo Herbie, show 'em what we mean. Confused by the words we're saying? We're not serious, we're only Kid and Playing.
Two guys, are we shy?
Bull.
Like the tower, with an eye full.
They said we couldn't rap.
Said we were face men.
How about a taste?
Herb, turn up the bass then.
Play was stamped a long time ago.
I was a tramp before the video. You lose your breath. Deaf, and even though you try to fight it, you can't. So here we go.
The kid is set, and I bet we get through this. I look at Play, and he'll say,
we can do this, boy.
Clap your hands, this jam is a can't miss. Feel free to just chant this my way.
All right, there we go. Kill this echo. All right, there we go. Peace, Black Power family. It's your boy Psychopath Black at you. You know what I mean? With a late night show, waiting for Sister Renee to come through. Let me make sure I gave her the link. So we can get this thing going. We got some things we want to get into, family. We got some things we definitely need to get into tonight. You know, some things that I kind of tackled a little bit of it on Saturday. We're going to delve into that a little bit deeper. And then we got to discuss the whole incident, of course, that happened with Miss Zaza Ali and all that madness. I'm sure a lot of you have already heard about that. We're going to touch into that. We're going to give our opinions on that. You know, I didn't get a chance to touch on it too much on Saturday because I had just heard about it, and I didn't know too much information, so I didn't really want to speak too much on it until I found out more information on everything. So, you know, me and Sister Renee was talking earlier, and we said, yeah, let's get into it tonight. So yeah, I'm waiting for her to come on now. Renee, I dropped the link if you're listening. Let me get a one out there, family, if everybody can hear me clear. Let me get some shout outs. Let's see. Shout out to Water Sniper. Shout out to Back to Love. Shout out to Michael Phillips. Shout out to T. Thomas. Shout out to Black Fist. Shout out to Love Wisdom. Was good, sis. Supercoon Jr., go fuck yourself. Haru was good. Lillington was good. And Boken was going on. Radical was good, sis. I'm glad to see you here. King Hebrew was good, bro. SH47 was good. Michael Phillips was good. Black Power. Crispy Coon Tunes. What's going on? Who else up in here? Elaine, what's going on, sis? Anybody else up in here? Did I get everybody? I think I got everybody. If I missed you, my bad. Soup Bone was good. Cube, what's going on? And Mimi Doll. Char Willie also. What's good, sis? All right, I think I got everybody. What's going on, Dicto family? What's really good? Mother Amam, what's going on with you? Knowledge was good with you. I see you out there. K Hills, what's going on? Extreme Picks was good. Chicago in the building. I feel you. That's everybody. Georgie, what's going on? Got Brooklyn in the house too. That's what's up. All right. Let's see. All right. Renee's running a little bit late. Yeah, that's to be expected. That's to be expected. But yeah, Renee's running a little bit late, so it's going to take a few minutes to get here. So I guess I got to go ahead and start this off. I might have to repeat myself later. But yeah, we definitely want to get into this whole Zaza Ali thing and story and everything else. I guess since we're waiting for her now, I can go ahead and play the video now because I'm not sure how long this is going to take for her to get here. Give me 1 second, family. I might as well go ahead. I was going to wait for her to get here to play this video because I really don't want to talk about this until she gets here. So I guess, you know what? Let me talk about the other thing because this is all crazy now. All right, we're going to talk about the Kanye thing. Kanye West, as y'all know, he's under attack by the LGBTQ community. I don't even know what to call it. What is it again? Is the it's the LGBTQ and A, T and T community or some shit like that. I don't know, family. I get those goddamn acronyms all fucked up. Like, I don't, what the fuck is that? I mean, like, whatever. Like, that shit doesn't even say anything. Like, sometimes they try to get acronyms. They try to spin them bitches. So the acronyms could actually say a word, kind of like the MGTOW thing, like technically that doesn't really spell MGTOW, but they try to make a word out of it, like what word are you going to make out of that fucking gumbo of fucking fruity ass letters. What are you gonna do with that? What are you gonna do with that? Like, what are you gonna call that shit? The big jidge? What the jidge? I don't know. What the fuck is that? You can't make up a word for that stupid ass acronym. It's stupid. It's dumb. Shit get you all tongue tied. What the fuck is that dumb shit? It's ridiculous. What is this? Damn gay people trying to attack us, family. Let's talk that real shit up in here, man. We got these gay motherfuckers trying to put the black community under attack. And it's kind of fucking disgusting. You know, it's really disgusting how they try to shove this fucking crap down our throat. That shit really pisses me off to no ends. You know, because again, I'm not the biggest Kevin Hart fan. I spoke on this already a little bit on Saturday, but I am not the biggest Kevin Hart fan. I understand he's a fucking coon and he's done a lot of dumb shit that kind of set him up for this failure. You know, he kind of put himself in that spot, you know, and so I it's hard for me to really feel sorry for him too much. But this shit is bigger than Kevin Hart and his coonery. This shit is bigger than that, family, and that's what we really want to get into tonight. We want to get into this fucking gay agenda that people seem to just kind of sweep under the rug. Like, people keep saying, like, it fucks me up that there's still black people out here that act like it's not a gay agenda. Like, I will sit up here and tell motherfuckers about this gay agenda, and they will want to sit up here and debate me on this, family. They want to debate me on this, try to push back on my talking points, everything, second, and third, caping for these motherfuckers. You know, if you ever notice, the biggest mouth motherfuckers who be defending the gay motherfuckers usually are the motherfuckers who claim they not gay. It's usually the motherfuckers who claim that they're not gay who's making the most motherfucking noise. Y'all ever notice that? It'll be somebody like just trolling you in the comment section or something like that. Or maybe you on Facebook, they trolling you under a thread. Or whatever the case may be. You just getting fucked with. You on Twitter, they just atting you all over the fucking place. Just talking crazy. Just calling you intolerant. Trying to shame you with the shaming tactics like homophobe this and homophobe that and all this old other nasty shit. You know the fuck shit they try to hit you with. You know, they'll hit you with this shit and you'll be going back and forth with these motherfuckers probably like an hour. And then you'll make a reference about how your lifestyle is you make a reference something like well, you wasn't born that way, that was a lifestyle you chose. And then the motherfuckers, after an hour arguing with your ass, they will turn around and be like, I'm not gay. What will make you think I'm gay? That's homophobic in itself. Just assuming that I'm gay. I'm like, what? Negro, you was just arguing with me for an hour and a half in this fucking comment section. Took up my whole lunch hour and then some. And you trying to tell me you ain't even gay? Man, if you don't get the fuck off my goddamn thread. Get the hell out of my comment section. Get the fuck off my goddamn timeline. I don't give a fuck. Wherever we at, get the fuck up off of it. I'm not interested in arguing with no cheerleaders. You sit up here trying to argue with me, arguing me down. And you ain't even gay. Ain't that about a bitch? Okay, here we go. Family, give her shit, family, because she's late. I specifically asked her before the show started, when you gonna be able to be on time? She said, yeah, and it was 11 minutes late. Okay. So get on her, family.
First of all, my computer is updating. I had to come in otherwise, so I'm still not even on my computer yet because it's still updating. Yeah, it was like, I'm like, of course it would pick the perfect time. So I was waiting, and I'm like, dang, I know SYKO's over there like, see y'all, she's late, and this and that. And so I just had to jump on my tablet and do it, even though it is my computer over. So it's like still okay. I'm waiting on my computer to come up. Okay, go ahead.
You good now? Yeah, now you good. Yeah, you were just a second ago. You was kind of breaking up. Yeah, I can tell you on your tablet, nigga.
Yeah.
Hopefully you get everything be together in a second. But yeah, I was just talking about I was just talking about the whole gay agenda and everything else, and you know, some of the shaming tactics these people use, and how some of the biggest gay supporters aren't even the gay people. I spend more time arguing with people that claim they're not gay, opposed to people that are actually gay, which is mind blowing to me. Pause. But you know, it's like, yeah, I don't understand this shit. It's like, why are you so upset? Why are you so pissed off? And you know, usually when people who aren't something gets very pissed off about something that they usually don't label themselves as, is because somebody close to them falls under that label, and they're defending that person, either like in a family, maybe a spouse, you know what I mean, you know, something like that, or whatever the case may be. And usually they're defending somebody who's very close to them.
I hope not a spouse. I said, I hope not a spouse.
Yeah, that this is true. This is true. This is true.
So yeah, I feel you. But the thing is, you know what, we're gonna get into that tonight, because I feel the same way. However, with that whole you know, I'm gonna run down those points tonight. The way that this whole homosexual agenda, and there is a homosexual agenda, but the way this whole homosexual, and we're gonna get to that, but the way this whole homosexual agenda is constructed is to make people, of course, feel like homosexuals are victims. And so even people now who don't even have family members or close ones necessarily, who are homosexuals, they have begun to feel so guilty, and they've begun to feel so bad or even protective of homosexuals, that they'll go toe to toe with you. And they may not even have anybody who's a close loved one. They're not homosexual, nor do they have anybody who's a close loved one who is. But because they have pushed this agenda so far and have made themselves out to be victims, and made themselves out to where people feel they have to defend them, then now damn near everybody's defending homosexuals. Not everybody, of course, but I'm just saying a lot of people are now. And I think that just speaks to how cunning and how strategic the homosexual community, if you will, have been. And I'm gonna go into some points, but in a little bit. But yeah, we they took notes from the civil rights movement, but we can take notes from their movement. And I'm gonna break down exactly how. But yeah, I missed the whole thing. My computer still is not up, so I'm still waiting on this to finish updating. But did you talk about the Kevin Hart thing? Because I know you talked about Kevin Hart some on your Waking Day.
I'm about to say I didn't get too much into it because I was waiting for you to hear. So you can go ahead and touch on Kevin Hart.
All right. Well, I'm pretty sure most people, and see, I'm mad because I had stuff on my computer. But yeah, most people by this point are pretty familiar, I'm sure, with the whole Kevin Hart situation. Basically, he was tapped to be the Oscars host for this upcoming year, 2019. And basically what happened is some of his past tweets got exposed as being, quote, homophobic. He had, said different things. Mind you, I think some of this is going back like 10 years ago. And so basically, you know, he was saying things about like his son, if his son was playing with a dollhouse, you know, he would tell him that's gay. He talked about particular people and kind of called them, you know, the F word, if you will. And so things of that nature. And of course, how they do nowadays, they go way, way back. Now, mind you, I'm not necessarily against that, because depending on what position a person is in, you know what I'm saying? It could be important to know some of the tweets and things that they put out there in the past. But sometimes it's taken to the max. And so anyway, most people know you don't mess with the homosexuals, all right? Mm-hmm. So he's had a past saying anything that was a slur or whatever to their community, it's a problem. Because who runs Hollywood? Who runs the entertainment industry? Who runs the Oscars? Homosexuals do, through and through. That's rainbow through and through. You know, people talk a lot about these rituals, sex rituals, and Illuminati and stuff. I'm not into that. But what I do believe, or what's very clear, is that you have to acquiesce. You have to be down with the whole homosexual agenda as it is. You got to be willing to go both ways, okay? Or you got to be all the way to that level. Either way, you got to be down with it. It's get down or lay down. You feel me? This is the mentality that the homosexuals have. It's not about tolerance. It's not about acceptance, quote unquote, as they would have you believe. It's about control. It's about making people do as you see fit. And you cannot in any way tolerate people who you know have had issues or don't necessarily support the LGBT movement. So if somebody doesn't support it, they're like, oh, okay, we got you. We got you. Since you didn't want to get down, we're going to make you lay down. Pun intended as well. But, you know, going back like Kevin Hart, you know, it's people have talked about this for years now, but the whole thing like with him wearing a dress. Now, Kevin Hart started out as a Black people's comedian, quote unquote. Most of y'all know what I mean by that. Like, he was like a hood comedian. He was like in a lot of hood movies and things like that. And so a lot of people were familiar with him from that. I think then once he did like Soul Plane and stuff, more people started becoming familiar with him. But that was pretty much like his lane. And he was able to transition, you know, because one of the things they love to have a Black comedian, you know, because of course we are caricatures to them anyway. We are here to make them laugh and entertain them. And not that there's anything wrong with being a comedian. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying they typically have to have a Black male comedian who's popping at any particular given time. So, you know, you could go back to Richard Pryor, to Eddie Murphy, to Dave Chappelle, whatever the case may be. They have to have some Black man comedian who's popping. And so with him, as he began to rise, I think he noted that he would never put on a dress and that he wouldn't do that. That was just something he was not going to do. And what you see happen, it ended up when he did Saturday Night Live, which I think was his first time doing it. And you know, Saturday Night Live, that's like a huge platform in terms of the dominant society, in terms of reaching white America and all of that. That's a massive platform. So, you know, many Black folk don't, you know, get to come on there. And so him being on there, he did a skit with like the royal wedding or whatever. And he played a little girl or whatever it was. And what did he have on? He had on a dress. And so it's an example of get down or lay down. And so this man went back on his word as far as that. And you know damn well They pitched that to him. Everybody has seen the clip of Dave Chappelle, like on Oprah and all that, and him talking about, you know, they put the dress in his trailer and all that. And he's like, wait a minute, what? And they had a whole little thing set up. And he said when he really stood firm, it's like, oh, they was basically gonna see if he was gonna go for it or not. So Kevin Hart, you know, he wanted that crossover fame complete. He wanted it complete. And he was able to attain it after that because he started doing bigger and bigger films, you know, a lot of these movies like with The Rock and things like that. And his name became more widely known and became even more of a household name. He made even more money. He would draw in even more crowds. So yeah, anyway, so that whole situation happened. So they already kind of made him pander to them in a way because he had to go back on his word about wearing a dress. All right. It's just that with the Oscars, they was able to push it even further. Now we're going to bring your tweets up. Now what you going to do? Either you're going to apologize to the level we feel is appropriate, or you're not going to be the host. So anyway, if y'all remember as well, not too long ago, you know, a lot of people are talking about like the Cat Williams thing, and Cat Williams basically kind of like telling him these type of things. And, you know, Kevin Hart, he was kind of like smug about it. You know what I'm saying? When he went on the Breakfast Club, he didn't want to deal with the whole white man element of it or whatever the case may be. You know, he was kind of on his, you know, on his ish. He like, nah, he's feeling himself to a degree. And, you know, his success and things that he's done. But this is yet another example of how one day you can be on the top of the world. And this is in terms of Black people. Okay. One day you on top of the world. The next day you at the bottom that quick. Because you did not uphold what they want you to uphold. You didn't do everything they wanted you to do. And that has consequences when it comes to white folk. That has consequences with white supremacy. It has consequences in the entertainment industry. So, anywho, Kevin Hart basically, you know, came out and said that, let me read his apology. Let me read his apology. So he said, I have made the choice to step down from hosting this year's Oscars. This is because I do not want to be a distraction on a night that should be celebrated by so many amazing, talented artists. I sincerely apologize to the LGBTQ community for my insensitive words from my past. So understand how strategic this is, right? So although he didn't necessarily grovel, he did grovel, okay? He groveled, but he did it at the same time, because ultimately he backed up from the hosting job. But why didn't he just leave it at that? Why didn't he just say, well, I decided to step down from the Oscars and that's that? No, he had to go into the explanation and make sure that he still apologized. That's a public apology. On Twitter, on social media, in today's time, he still had to let it be known that he was bowing down to them in some sort of way. So as he tells them, I sincerely apologize to the LGBT community. For what? All of the jokes and different things that you've made about different types of people over time, why does it have to be that somebody's sexual proclivity, why does somebody have to apologize on behalf of making a joke about that? Why is that important to do? And so we're going to break down why that's important to do, because many people miss the point on issues like this. And a lot of people who are familiar with me back in the day know that I basically started off addressing heavily the whole homosexual agenda. And again, there is an agenda, and I'm gonna prove that to you. But I basically started off on that, like going ham, like years ago. And at that time, it was even more people who was like, what? It ain't no homosexual agenda. That ain't true, and this and that. People were telling me all kind of stuff. And it was people like Irritated Genie, people like Brother Dawa Israel, myself, and there were, of course, other notable people, but there was like a handful. There were just a few people really that were very vocal about what was going on and breaking down what was happening to our community. So Kevin Hart is very strategic. He is a very important situation. I think it's more important than people really know or understand. Now, people will say, we shouldn't want to be hosting an award show and this and that. That's absolutely true. But that's not really what this issue is about per se. You know, that's the whole conversation. But them trying to make him completely grovel at their feet is to me, the real important key to this. So I'm gonna pass the mic. I've been running my mouth, but I'll pass the mic.
Nah, you good. Yeah, I agree with everything you said. It's like, once you start getting up in the weird, you have to bow down to the gays and the Jews. You have to. That is an unwritten rule. It's not something that's spoken about. It's just something that's known. People, and he knew what it was. He knew what it was, but he shouldn't be shocked because they've been made him compromise himself. They had him doing gay type things before on screen, kissing the Rock on camera and stuff like that and everything else. He already been compromised. So, I don't know what made him all of a sudden decide now to buck up and everything else. He should have took this stance before when he found out he had to kiss a rock in a fucking movie. He should have took this stance. So, it's kind of hard for him to tell his son not to do gay stuff when he's on camera and on movies doing gay stuff. It's kind of like, I understand from a father's standpoint how he would want how he would react that way to his son doing some gay things, but again, it wouldn't that be his son mimicking what he saw his father doing on movies? Like wouldn't he want to grow up to be like his father? So if his father's on movies kissing men, wouldn't that kind of make him want to kiss men? I don't know. Like, it's crazy. Like, I don't know. It's just weird. I never grew up with a father who had a fetish of kissing men, so I don't know. I can't really speak on this, but I'm just saying it must do something to a kid. I don't know, but again, and it's like, okay, do as I say, not as I do. I kiss men, but you can't kiss a man. Like, that is just weird. It's like, I don't know. Like, I don't know, man. I ought to put my foot down, man. Motherfuckers ain't get me on camera doing none of that. You ain't get me off camera doing none of that fruity stuff. Real talk. Like none of that. Like, nah, man. Nah. I'm reading the script like, okay, all right, yeah, I got to trip and fall here, get some laughs. Yeah, okay, make stupid face here, get some more laughs. All right, yeah, well, yeah, where is it? Come on. Well, got put on a dress to get a laugh. Okay, never mind. Nope, I pass. Get this shit to Chris Rock. He might do it. I don't know, but I ain't. Pass that shit off. Pass the buck. You ain't getting me on. Nah, dog. I'm not doing none of that shit. I'm not gonna be compromised to you motherfuckers. Y'all motherfuckers ain't gonna sit up here and make me bow down to your agenda and help push your narrative. You know what I mean? Try to push that gay is cool through me, through media. No, you're not gonna use me as that tool. No, not to mention this. I ain't beat for all that. And so yeah. So again, I don't disagree with his stance. It's just odd that it's coming up now, opposed to before he was doing all this fruity stuff. But you know, anyways, you got something else you want to talk about with this, Renee? Because I beat this to death on Saturday.
Yeah, I was trying to bring up. Okay, I'm about to switch over my Can you give me just 1 minute? I'm about to switch over to my computer.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So yeah, the whole Kevin Hart situation. You know, I feel him as far as like, you know, like fuck it, you know, fuck the Oscars if y'all want me to, like, I feel him taking this stance. I can't be mad at him as far as like taking this hard stance. I had a problem with the apology. I had a big time problem with the apology. I don't understand what you're apologizing for. We should be unapologetically straight black pride. That's how I feel. I feel like we all should have that stance. Straight, if you ain't straight black pride, you kind of like worthless to me. I'm sorry, you just kind of are. You know, like if you're not straight black pride, you kind of pushing back against what my worldview is all about. You know, it's about bettering my people, helping to further see my people be created in this world. Because, like, again, like, this is about racial genocide. You know, I made a comment under a Swirler's channel. Might as well get into this while we waiting. I made a comment under a Swirler's channel earlier today. And boy, did I get attacked. I got attacked for telling these swirlers. Now, mind you, all I was doing was just informing these swirlers of some things. I didn't try to convert them. I wasn't trying to get them to come back home or none of this other stuff, you know, kind of is what it is. You know, like my job is not to convert you girls. Y'all girls want to go run off and get you pink dick. I support that. Go get the pink dick. You know what I'm saying? Just please put it in your mouth so you can shut the fuck up. But get your pink dick, put it in your mouth, shut the fuck up, go away. Position as far as the swirl and stuff go. I really don't care. I'm not trying to bring y'all back because most of y'all are most of y'all practice misandry and hello? Okay, I heard echo. Yeah, most of y'all practice, most of y'all misandronists and y'all hate black men. And honestly, just the thought of some of these swirlers actually having black sons spooks me out to no ends. Like, just the thought of that is cringeworthy. If any of these swirling girls who pop all this crazy shit that I hear online have any black sons, like that right there, that's disturbing just thinking about that. So the last thing I would want to see is for these little batshit crazy swirlers to get with a black man, have a kid by him, just so they could mentally abuse that little boy for the rest of his life.
What happened?
I pass. Let him go. That feeling about black men, the last thing you need to do is have a black son. If that's your feelings. Right? Now, I'm sitting up here explaining to them, I'm only here to talk about how I don't consider your offspring to be black. I don't consider your offspring to be black. I don't count by racials as being black. And I'm not the only motherfucker who holds this position. Most real pro-blacks, not these little fake-ass pro-blacks, but the real pro-blacks hold the same position.
What happened? What happened?
You not listening?
No, well, when I was switching over, I didn't hear. Yeah, so I'm like,
I'm not. Oh, okay. I was under this swirl. I was under this swirler's video, and I got attacked by Swirl Nation. They attacking me. They think I'm trying to convert them. They thought I was trying to make more more pick-me's and me. They thought I was trying to convert them, and so they started hitting me with that. You know, they all copy and paste. They only know one way to talk to men And that's to try to, they think all black men are trying to convert them back, and they think, because they want to care. You know, the reason why these motherfuckers get up here and say some of the wild shit they fucking say is because they want us to care. But I had to inform them, nah, we really don't. We really don't. You know, it's just the fact that y'all a bunch of trolls. Like, other than y'all trolling, we really don't care like that. Like, I know I don't. Like I said, like, I've done made streams giving them dating advice on how to get Billy Bob. Like, that's my position. If you're going to go run off, I'm going to help you. I'm going to help you run off. I'm not going to try to stop you from doing shit. It's like I said, I don't want to see none of y'all with black sons. Y'all hate black men, and the last thing I want to see y'all do is trying to raise one. Because guess what you're going to end up raising? You're going to end up raising that same black man who you running around here bitching about. You're going to raise that black male who got mommy issues, who's running around here losing his mind because his mama treated him like shit his entire life. You're going to raise more of them motherfuckers. So I prefer you just go f some biracial kid mind up. Go do that. So trust me, the last thing I want to do is bring any of y'all back home. You left. Stay gone. That's how I feel. So when y'all fucking see me, I want y'all to understand this. I am not trying to convert you. It's not my job to convert you motherfuckers. I'm just gonna tell you, I'm not accepting your offspring as being black. Do what you want to do. But your offspring, I'm not accepting them. That's the bottom line. All that other shit you talking, y'all go ahead. Go run off. Be happy. What you do. I care less. I don't want you, so I don't care. But I'm not accepting your offspring. I'll pass the mic though. Seem like you now.
Yeah, right. Okay, so I wanted to get back into this, get back into the Kevin Hart situation, the homosexual agenda that I was talking about. And so now I want to get into when I said that I was going to prove that this is an agenda. I'm going to prove that this is an agenda. Now, you know, of course, there's always resistance whenever this is discussed or brought up because people feel different ways about it. Like we was kind of mentioning earlier, people will say, oh, I have family members or this, that, and the other, whatever the case may be. But I'm gonna break down to y'all how this is actually an agenda, and you can see this played out the most of our community. That's for a reason, ultimately. But yeah, so Kevin Hart's situation actually is going to, in one of these points I'm about to make, is going to show you exactly what has happened and what's going on. Now, all right, so what I'm about to break down to you is the blueprint for the homosexual agenda. I don't really like to say gay because gay means happy. And just as this movement or what have you has hijacked the word gay, they've hijacked the rainbow, you know, and that's on purpose. It's to associate words, associate images that have been, you know, good, just positive images to associate with their particular lifestyle, if you will. Let me be clear. I do not hate homosexual people. I do not hate LGBT people. This has nothing to do with hate. This has everything to do with critical thinking skills. It has everything to do with understanding what's going on, understanding the attack that we are under. It has everything to do with evidence, proof, and facts. That's what it has to do with. It has nothing to do with hating anybody. I do not homosexual bash. I don't attack homosexual people. I don't do my business to run around calling them slurs. None of the above. None of the above. And unfortunately, we are in a time that if you are not accepting of homosexuality, then it's considered the same thing as hating homosexuals. It's considered the same thing as bashing homosexuals just because you don't support that. You know, so that shows you how sick it is. But anyway, I'm gonna get into this, okay? So we about to get into these 6 points. Family, please, if you are on the fence, please take note. I'm gonna give you a couple things to write down, okay? Do your own research. Do your own study on this. You don't have to believe me. You don't have to take my word for it. None of that, okay? I do all my own thinking, and I encourage other people to do their own thing, all right? So here's the thing. So this is the blueprint. Now, there is a book called After the Ball. After the Ball. It's by Marshall Kirk. And this book was written in the 1980s. And the book basically is breaking down. And I first came about this book when I was doing a debate on homosexuality, probably like 4 or 5 years ago, which I won, by the way. But I was doing a debate on it, and so, or on that topic, and in researching and things of that nature, I came across this book, and I came across the information. It was like, wow. And this is really something, you know, for people who don't know about it, and a lot of people don't know about it. But the full name of the book is After the Ball: How America Will Conquer Its Fear and Hatred of Gays in the 90s. All right. So this book was written in the mid-1980s, and the book basically centers around a whole meeting that happened with a whole group of influential homosexuals. So people who ran homosexual organizations, people who were in the entertainment industries and other arenas, who had money, who had power, who had influence, and things of that nature. So all of these people basically came together in a meeting. This is a real thing. So this is nonfiction, but they all came together and basically met on the premise of how they were going to, in essence, normalize homosexuality, okay? And so these are basically the six points. They came up with a 6-point plan. Of course, many of us know that the Black Panther Party had a 10-point plan. So, of course, they take, things from us. Anywho, they had a 6-point plan, all right? So I'm going to go over these points, and you will break it down, how this is exactly what is happening today and what has been happening, and that so many Black people don't understand that they have been the victims of this. They don't even know that people have pulled one over on them and they flipped the script. So let's break it down. All right. So I'm going to start with number 1. Now, by the way, this book is considered kind of like the Bible of the homosexual agenda or homosexual movement. Now, I've heard people in the past say there's no homosexual agenda, there's no gay agenda. Yes, there is. And people are like, well, nobody told all the gay people that the memo. See, it's a term that I first heard about from Brother Jabari when he was debating on that ABO stuff. And he was bringing out the Russian connection, how so many of these things popped up, the whole Indian thing with the Russia situation during the presidential election. And they have a term in the CIA, or the Alphabet Boys rather, they have a term called useful idiots. All right, useful idiots. And I'm not trying to insult anybody or anything, because we've all basically been a part of that in one way or the other. But a lot of Black homosexuals are essentially that. They are useful idiots. And they don't realize the game that's been run on them, as well as a lot of Black people who consider themselves advocates and things of that nature. All right, so we're going to start with step 1, point 1. And we're going to also see how these points would be will be best served in our community to use as well. All right. So step 1, talk about gays and gayness as loudly and as often as possible. All right. Let's see here. Almost any behavior, listen to this, family. Almost any behavior begins to look normal if you are exposed to it enough. The way to benumb raw sensitivities about homosexuality is to have a lot of people talk a great deal about the subject in a neutral or supportive way. Constant talk builds the impression that public opinion is at least divided on the subject and that a sizable segment accepts or even practices homosexuality. All right. Okay. Oh, let me give you this last little part of that. Consider this quote. This is from the book. And when we say talk about homosexuality, we mean just that. In the early stages of any campaign to reach straight America, the masses should not be shocked and repelled by premature exposure to homosexual behavior itself. Instead, the imagery of sex should be downplayed. First, let the camel get his nose inside the tent. Only after his unsightly derriere. That's a quote. All right. So if you notice, they don't want to ever talk about, they don't want you to talk about the actual gist of what it is that they're doing, because you have to remember that this is a sexual orientation. This is a sexual choice. These are people's sexual proclivities. All right. But they don't want you to focus on that. They want to get away from that, because if you were to focus on that, then you would be able to see all these other things, right? So all of the other medical issues that result from this, and et cetera, and you will be able to see how unnatural it is. So they don't want to focus on that. See, they want to get you over to this, look over here while this is going on over there. All right. So let's go to point 2, step 2. Portray gays as victims, not as aggressive challengers. In any campaign to win over the public, gays must be cast as victims in need of protection. Of course, this does not address the issue of whether the gay lifestyle is right or wrong. It is an attempt to emotionally manipulate others with the motive of getting them to accept values they otherwise wouldn't agree with. Let me repeat that. Because when I came in earlier, SYKO was talking about this, how it's a lot of people who are not homosexuals who are very defensive, right? And that's going to show up later in the points as well. But understand, this is heavily connected to that, right? So let me repeat this again. Step 2, portray gays as victims, not as aggressive challengers. In any campaign to win over the public, gays must be cast as victims in need of protection. Of course, this does not address the issue of whether the gay lifestyle is right or wrong. Okay, see, it's not talking about whether it's right or wrong. It's just saying, hey, they're victims, protect them. It is an attempt to emotionally manipulate others with the motive of getting them to accept values they otherwise wouldn't agree with. So in a typical premise, many people would not say, hey, I support, LGBT or whatever the case may be. But when it comes down to this belief that these people are so victimized and, oh, they have it so bad, people will kind of abandon that just to be protective of the people. And in essence, when you do that, you help to kind of like desensitize yourself to it, and you begin to kind of accept values you otherwise wouldn't agree with. All right, so let me go to point 3. This is like a continuation of that. Step 3, point 3, give protectors a just cause. A media campaign that casts gays as society's victims and encourages straights to be their protectors must make it easier for those to respond to assert and explain their new protectiveness. Few straight women and even fewer straight men will want to defend homosexuality boldly as such. Our campaign should not demand direct support for homosexual practices, but should instead take anti-discrimination as its theme. All right, let me repeat that last part again. Few straight women and even fewer straight men will want to defend homosexuality boldly as such. Our campaign should not demand direct support for homosexual practices, but should instead take anti-discrimination as its theme. So see, this is how the game is played, right? So we're not gonna have you focus on the reason why we're in this group. The reason why they're in this group is because they're sexual choices, because they choose to involve with other people of the same gender. But they don't want you to think about that. Just focus on nobody should be discriminated against. So if it's all about anti-discrimination, that means you have to support and protect these people who have this sexual desire for the same gender. Don't worry about why though. Don't worry about that actual part. Just see it as no discrimination. All right. Okay. Just another little part to that. The right to free speech, freedom of beliefs, freedom of association, due process, and equal protection of laws. These should be the concerns brought to mind by our campaign. So again, get away from having any idea about why this group exists. Get away from the fact that this is talking about sexual choice and just deal with discrimination, okay? All right, so step 4, this is very important. I see this all the time. Step 4.4, make gays look good. In order to make a gay victim sympathetic to straights, you have to portray him as every man. But an additional theme of the campaign should be more aggressive and upbeat. To offset the increasingly bad press that these times have brought to homosexual men and women, the campaign should paint gays as superior pillars of society. Let me read that again. In order to make a gay victim sympathetic to straights, you have to portray him as every man. But an additional theme of the campaign should be more aggressive and upbeat. To offset the increasingly bad press that these times have brought to homosexual men and women, the campaign should paint gays as superior pillars of society. So this is why, you tend to not hear very bad or negative stories or press or what have you about homosexual people. It's always, oh, well, they did this and they're doing these great things. Look at how they show the homosexuals. Oh, they're adopting children, right? Especially Black children. Oh, they're adopting these unwanted niggas, these unwanted nigglets, right? Oh, they're doing this. They created this fund and they're XYZ, right? All of these things, even in the sense of the thing, right? And the fact that they have these parades, all over the country. But do people actually realize what happens in these parades? Oftentimes, they have all types of sexually deviant things going on in public, in daylight, all right, on public streets, okay? But it's Pride and Gay Pride Month. It's given this noble feeling to it. When in essence, many of the things that go on and the whole basis for this movement is a deviant form of sex. All right, so let me move to the next point. Oh yeah, let me just read this little part right here too. This approach can be considered mission accomplished as far as the number 4 point of make gays look good. Kirk and Madsen also pointed out the benefits of the celebrity endorsement. It doesn't matter whether the celebrity is straight or gay. The important thing is the endorsement of homosexuality as normal. Of course, most celebrities are a part of the entertainment world where values are overwhelmingly liberal and opposed to biblical standards. Is it any wonder that so many celebrities have come out of the closet in recent years or proclaimed their support for gays? Now, y'all know I'm not a Bible thumper in that whole element. However, that statement right there is still very true, okay? And essentially, if you notice, even if the celebrity is not homosexual, you still see so many celebrities who promote gay pride and the rainbow and all of these different things. So it doesn't matter what their sexual orientation, so to speak, as long as they are helping to use their name, their face, their celebrity to push forward the homosexual agenda and the homosexual movement. All right, so step 5. This is Kevin Hart through and through. This is the Kevin Hart situation through and through. Step 5.5, make the victimizers look bad. At a later stage of the media campaign for gay rights, now notice we're at a later stage, all right? This book is based around them having this accomplished in the 90s. Now, it didn't totally get accomplished in that way, but they kicked it off. But now that we are about to go into 2019, homosexual marriage is federalized. It's seen equivalent as a man and a woman. As you know, you can't say anything disparaging about homosexuals. You can lose your livelihood behind that. You get shut down. Of course, the Kevin Hart thing, but you're gonna see how this plays right into that. All right, so step 5, make the victimizers look bad. At a later stage of the media campaign for gay rights, it will be time to get tough with remaining opponents. To be blunt, they must be vilified. Our goal here is twofold. First, we seek to replace the mainstream self-righteous pride about its homophobia with shame and guilt. Second, we intend to make the anti-gays look so nasty that average Americans will want to disassociate themselves from such types. The public should be shown images of ranting homophobes whose secondary traits and beliefs disgust middle America. All right, and that's an add-on to that. But if you go back up and it says, to be blunt, they must be vilified. That's the Kevin Hart situation 100%. Now, this man had already previously come out and apologized about what he said. Again, we're going back as far as 10 years ago with a lot of these type of things. This man has been on TV wearing a dress. This man has been in movies kissing men. This man has basically done any and everything, right, to show that he's down with that. He wouldn't have even got in a position to do some of those things if he hadn't shown he's down with that, right? But they still wanted to pin him to the wall. So they vilified him based upon these old tweets. So this is exactly what's happening. And people don't realize that this is what's happening. This is the agenda. This is the plan behind all of this. And it's been done strategically. I really hope people don't think that this just happened this way. No, it didn't just happen this way. This was a thought out process and a thought out plan that was put together. And as I said, so many people who had money, power, influence, who were homosexual came together and put this together. Now, number 6. Step 6. Solicit funds. The buck stops here. Any massive campaign of this kind will require unprecedented expenditures. for months or even years, an unprecedented fundraising drive. Because gays not supporting families usually have more discretionary income than average, they could afford to contribute much more. So you had a lot of homosexuals, again, who put their money, their wealth, their power, their influence behind this movement. The buck stops here. There needed to be money to fuel this movement. And a lot of homosexuals, contrary to what people believe, a lot of people believe that homosexuals are so discriminated against and held back. But homosexuals actually typically have very high incomes. They're typically very high earning, okay? Those are just the facts. And so oftentimes, because they typically may not have families and things of that, they do have more income to kind of throw around, if you will, or use in other ways. So, you know, from top to bottom, this whole movement has been put together, from the finances to how they're going to do people who are against them or who don't support, not even against, but who don't support their movement. How celebrities in the entertainment industry would be used to further their cause, to make homosexuals look like the pillars of society, to also make them look victimized. How many times have you seen where homosexuals are allowed to say whatever they want to say? You know, we in this time of like the Me Too thing or whatever, right? But these homosexual men can say whatever they want to another man, or even say whatever they want to nasty to a woman. And it's okay, and it's acceptable. And people laugh, oh, they're given a pass about any and everything that they say, because remember, they're victims. They're victims. You can't hold them accountable for what they say and what they do. They're so put down by the world. So here you have a concrete plan. Again, the name of the book is called After the Ball. And understand that in none of what I read, in none of those points did it mention anything about science. Didn't mention anything about actual proof and evidence that people are somehow born this way. Why? Because these people know that's not the truth. They know there's no proof and no evidence of that. Again, these are people who are at high level positions who are homosexuals. There's no gay gene. There has not been one found. There's not been one established. And let's be clear, the onus, the burden of proof is on the homosexual community to prove there's a gay gene. It's not the other way around. That proof needs to be documented if this is so-called, people are so-called born like this, which is what you will commonly hear. And the reason why people are able to say they're born like this is expressly because of this whole 6-point plan. They've been able to push so much on society and get away with so much that they can stand in your face and tell you they was born like this and not have one lick of scientific evidence, not one lick of genetic proof or documentation that people are born this way. But they can tell you that because they're victims, remember? They can tell you that because they've been successful in the plan and pulling the wool over most people's eyes. So now people don't want to look bad, so they're not going to say anything about this. Understand, at the end of the day, people will make comments and say, well, you know, other groups of people are doing X, Y, Z. This is not a group of people in the same sense that Black people are. Being Black is a race, it's a heritage, it's an ancestry, it's a lineage, okay? We were Black when we were in our mother's womb till we go back into the ground. That's just what it is. There's no choice in that. Even somebody bleaching their skin or all of this other post-racial stuff, that does not change the facts. That does not change your genetic code. It does not change your DNA, that you are Black, you are of African descent. It does not change that. There's no question about that. We can't go out and try to get jobs and pretend to not be Black. They can easily see we're Black. A homosexual does not have to let people know. They want to let people know. But again, as the points that I listed, they don't want you to go too far with it, though. They don't want you to start asking them, are those practices safe? Are they healthy? Are they natural? They don't want you to start talking to them about why is the HIV rate so high and so associated with homosexual activity. They don't want you to talk about those things. They don't want you to talk about a heavy correlation between people who have had sexual trauma as children and people who become homosexual. They don't want you to make those connections. Avoid that. They don't want you to talk about how this is a slippery slope. Because if you can say that two consenting adults, right? Two consenting adults can be together, and be accepted in society of the same gender, then can we apply that elsewhere? Isn't prostitution, as long as it's an adult, isn't that two consenting adults? A woman who's a prostitute and she's going out there willingly, and a man who stops and picks her up, those are two consenting adults then, right? Why is that illegal? If you have a mother and a son, or a father and a daughter, and they're adults, and then they decide to get in a relationship, isn't that two consenting adults? Where does it end? If you can say then that people are also all drugs should be legalized then. Drug dealers, it should not be a crime, or to use or do drugs should not be a crime, because these are consenting adults. They're making a choice. The person buying the drug is making the willful decision to buy the drugs and to do the drugs, right? So why is that illegal then? Why is that deemed wrong in society? So you have to start asking questions about everything else once you open the door to this one thing. If you can say that sexuality is something you're born with in terms of being homosexual, then can't people who are attracted, pedophiles, attracted to children and adolescents, isn't that a sexuality? Should they not then be a protected class? Can't they say, I was born this way, I can't help it, I can't not do this, if I don't do it, I'm gonna commit suicide? Because this is what's given to people about the homosexual community. This is what's given. If they cannot be themselves, they commit suicide. So then we have to extend that to pedophiles. They can't help it, right? So see, people don't want to really have the conversation. This is why they had to have a 6-point plan to get around and to usurp the type of things that I'm bringing up. And I'm seen as somebody who is hateful. I can't tell you how many homophobes I've been called, how many times I've been threatened